Leeds United 0, Brentford 0. A tough game, and one that was always going to be difficult. Brentford came into this with a very clear plan. Disrupt Leeds, apply pressure on the ball, and stop us from playing our natural game. And in fairness to them, they executed that very well. Leeds had spells of possession, and there were moments where it looked like we might find a breakthrough, but we just couldn't quite break down a very well-organised Brentford defence. It was hard-fought, competitive, and at times quite scrappy, but not lacking in effort. The question is whether this is a point gained against a difficult opponent, or an opportunity missed at home. Let's break it down. Looking at the first half, it became clear quite quickly what Brentford were trying to do. They pressed aggressively, especially when Leeds tried to build from the back, and they didn't allow us to settle into any real rhythm early on. Leeds had possession, but it felt controlled without being particularly dangerous. The usual fluency just wasn't there. Passes were a little slower, movement wasn't quite as sharp, and Brentford were very effective at closing down space. There were a couple of moments where Leeds looked like they might create something, but nothing that really forced the issue. Brentford, on the other hand, looked comfortable in their structure. They weren't overly expansive, but they didn't need to be. Their job was to frustrate, and they did that well. So at half-time, 0-0 felt about right. Leeds with more of the ball, but Brentford largely in control of the game's tempo. The second half followed a very similar pattern. Leeds continued to push, continued to look for openings, but Brentford stuck to their plan. The pressure on the ball remained consistent, and it made it difficult for Leeds to build attacks with any real speed or unpredictability. There were a few more promising moments, a couple of situations where the ball got into decent areas, but again that final pass or bit of quality just wasn't quite there. You always felt that if Leeds could just find one moment of real clarity in the final third, it might open the game up, but it never quite came. Brentford defended well right to the end, stayed organised, and managed the game effectively. In the end, it finishes scoreless, and while Leeds pushed, it never quite translated into clear-cut chances. From a tactical point of view, this was a good example of how to disrupt Leeds. Brentford didn't sit deep and just absorb pressure. They were proactive. They pressed the ball, they limited time and space, and they stopped Leeds from playing with the tempo we'd like. And when that happens, Leeds can sometimes struggle to find that creative spark. There's a difference between having possession and being able to break a team down, and today that difference was clear. Leeds weren't poor, but we weren't able to adapt enough to the challenge in front of us. Whether that's about movement, quicker passing, or taking more risks in the final third, that's probably where the game was decided. Brentford executed their plan well, and Leeds just couldn't quite find the solution on the day. So it finishes Leeds United 0, Brentford 0, a tough, hard-fought game, and one where Leeds just couldn't quite find the breakthrough against a very well-organised side. Now we head into the international break, which probably comes at a good time. A chance for players to reset, recover, and for the coaching staff to reflect on how to unlock games like this, where teams come with a clear plan to disrupt. Because those are the kinds of challenges that will keep coming. But when we return, it's a big one. The FA Cup quarter-final against West Ham. A real opportunity, and one that the players and fans will be looking forward to. So a bit of a pause now, and then all eyes on that cup tie. Let me know what you thought of the game. Was it a good result, even if it wasn't a good game of football? And the FA Cup tie? Do we field our strongest team and try to continue our FA Cup success to date? Let me know in the comments. As always, marching on together.
Oh, we're all Leeds. Yes, we are united in our song. From the streets of Yorkshire, we lift our heads up high, with the spirit of the city running deep beneath the sky. Days of glory, days of pride, from history we never part, with a heart that beats in time. We're Leeds, Leeds, Leeds it hard.